Hey everybody, welcome back to Unknown. My name is Roman, and this here is...
I don't like you. Hi, I'm Luke.
Okay, this episode we're going to try something new.
What's today's topic, Roman?
Anything. We're going to talk... We're going to talk about whatever we want. Whatever happens, flows naturally. We're just going to keep talking about it. We'll title it retroactively. So it may be like, this episode we talk about this, and this. Like the major things we touch on. Let's see, what were we talking about before we started rolling that we said we should probably talk about this on the show?
How our economy is failing, workers going on strike, AAA games are getting fed up with Baldur's Gate because of how well it did. Because, at that point, it's just a skill issue, guys. Make better games, you know?
If you don't know, what's happening is that... Is it the CEO of Unity?
I don't know. I know it's a bunch of the higher-ups, though. I know that.
Some higher up in Unity wants to start charging the game developer per install of the game.
Even though most of these games are free to play.
So essentially, developer and team makes a game, and then for whatever reason, whether or not people are charged to purchase the game or it's free, the developer would get charged for that install, which is obviously backwards.
And is it retroactive? Like people in the if people installed it in, like, say 2013, the developer will still be charged for that install?
I'm not sure if it's retroactive. I just think that...
Either way, it's a bad business policy. It's like they're trying to run the company into the ground.
Well, that's what we were also talking about earlier, was that...
Because they were selling stocks. They were selling their stocks in the company before they put this forward.
Yeah, they're like pulling out of their own company before all this crap even goes down. And that's what we were talking about before the episode, was that it just seems like Unity, Disney, all these billionaires are all just ripping their masks off at this point. They don't care about, or I don't even want to say they don't care. I think they legitimately
are purposely trying to screw us over.
No, yes, but so out of touch that they don't even realize that what they're saying is absolutely insane. And we talked about what Bob Iger was saying about how what the actors and writers are striking for right now is completely unwarranted, and they don't deserve higher pay. They get what they get for a reason. And it's at the very least, even if Bob Iger believes something like that personally, what are you saying? You're Disney. You have to put that fake smile on everything. That's your brand, and you're gonna come out and say something that harsh and not think twice about it?
You know why I think?
That was just wild to me to hear.
You know why I think the problem is? These people don't deal with consequences anymore. In the past, if they did this type of shit, at least one of the workers would have gotten fed up and killed the person, you know? We don't do that anymore. So these big wig people no longer have to face consequences.
Listen, we're not advocating for that.
We're not.
Maybe Luke is.
We're advocating for consequences for rich people.
Consequences for your actions. And also all these crazy rich CEOs, they're not doing anything. They've just tricked people into making them believe that they're doing the most work, so that's why they get paid the most. When in reality, it just means they're in charge of the most people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, I don't know.
But they're also in charge of the paycheck too, isn't that right? I don't know how companies work, but I know that they're doing a bad job.
I mean, it's different for everybody, but they just keep giving themselves raises, and ultimately what we're also talking about was that full-time jobs now are, a lot of them are not paying people enough to live off of anymore.
Exactly. I mean, these multi-millionaires, if they worked hard for that money, I say let them keep it. However, at the same time, I'm kind of suffering here, and I'm not even a real destitute person. I mean, I have an apartment, I'm going to college, and every now and then I get to splurge on something I want. However, if I had like $1 million, like something that would be petty cash for these people, I could probably like live the rest of my life off of that $1 million. And
I saw a tweet today that was like, people don't realize the difference between $1 million and $1 billion.
mm-hmm.
Or it was saying like, if you spent $1,000 a day, if you had $1 million and you spent $1,000 a day, you'd be done in however many days. But if you had $1 billion and you spent $1,000 every day, it would take you like 300 and something years to get through everything. So there's the people who say like billionaires shouldn't exist. I don't feel like I'm educated enough to form an opinion on that, really. I don't know. Like, I know a lot of people say that like all billionaires today did not get there through purely ethical means.
Right.
And so that's why they say billionaires shouldn't exist. So I don't know, maybe that's true. I've never looked into it myself personally, but like that's something I hear more and more now.
But speaking of wages and owning things, I don't think people really know this, but we're like, our economy currently is like worse than it was than the Great Depression, which is insane. But like, it's not, people aren't really taking notice of this. The living wages aren't what they used to be, and not enough people are being paid a living wage.
We've said this a few times before, you know, this is never going to turn into a political show.
Right.
But ultimately what we're talking about right now is like not political. Like it's a serious problem. It's affecting people.
It's economical.
In real life and people we know. And, you know, this is the first time we sort of talked about a topical event. Like, not something that we went and did this, but like something that's happening in the world right now. So if you're watching this as it's coming out and you know that like all of Hollywood is on strike for better pay, like writers, actors, and you know the Marvel VFX team is unionizing and all that. And more unions are joining the strike for better pay across the country, to the point where I hear whispers of like a workers' strike across the entire country, which good for them. Like honestly, yes, you know, strike for better pay, obviously. But if you're watching this in the future, I hope things turned out better. You know, I'm going into, like me personally, I'm trying to go into an industry that is on strike right now, essentially. And it's concerning. It's like, what is the landscape going to look like when/if I arrive there?
Job uncertainty is very big in our current age.
Did you see the Peruvian aliens?
Oh, it's fake. It doesn't even look real. Whoever is in charge of the media is obviously trying to push our attention somewhere else, and it's not working.
They've really been unrelenting with the alien nonsense.
Which is...
Yeah, which what Luke is saying. But like, normally it's been like every 6 months or so, something comes out where it's like the government's releasing documents, but it's like, okay, this time it is not let up. They won't like, and it's not even just the American government. Like the Peruvian alien thing was like in Mexico.
At this point, I think if aliens did really like reveal themselves and started living among us, I don't think anybody would care. I think it would be like a pretty seamless transition from just a human world to like humans and aliens suddenly coexisting, you know?
You know, people always say that like if aliens have the technology to get here, then we're doomed.
I don't believe that. I mean,
why don't you believe that?
I'm not saying that they wouldn't be able to kill us all. I think they'd be able to do that very easily. I just don't think they have a reason to do so. And for all we know, they could believe that they're the only ones out in space as well, and they might see us and be like, oh shit, we got company, let's interact with them.
Yeah. Like
that, or they're religious zealots and gonna kill us all. But you know, what are the chances of that?
But I think about it this way: like, if they are so technologically advanced and so like capable that way, I think to some degree they also have to be like understanding and communicative, at least amongst our own species. So like, why would a race, an alien race that well put together enough to make interstellar travel possible for themselves, why would they still be like fear-mongering warlords coming to kill? Like, that just seems like a weird dichotomy. Like, I don't think it would be both of those things.
Well, humans fear the unknown, which is why in these fictions with aliens in it, we always paint them as some type of big bad. Either that or something we want to get down and dirty with, but we're not here talking about those.
I'm sure if they wanted to kill us, they could, based on the technology they would need to have. But I just don't see them immediately being like we've accomplished interstellar travel, but we're still like brutish enough to just wipe out a precious form of life found in the universe.
Well, I remember reading like something a while ago saying that like the first sign of like civilization is like medical tools or something like that.
Yeah,
which like
tools in general.
Like somebody with a broken leg normally would be dead meat, but if they had like you could see the bones have been like re-healed over time, that means that that person had to be taken care of by other people in their community, which doesn't really happen in nature. Normally, if they break a bone, they're just fucking dead. You know?
There's that debate where like, are humans the only creatures that developed like compassion for others? It's like, not really.
No, other animals have compassion. I just don't believe.
But is that just an instinct? Like is that just like it's in their DNA to like protect others of the species, or do they actually like think and go, oh, I care about this person, I care about this creature, I'm gonna help it?
I believe it's more than instinct. The only reason I believe that it doesn't happen more in nature, however, is due to its nature's competitive how competitive nature is.
Yeah.
They don't have the resources or the ability to help their fellow companion, and other animals will just see this wounded animal as prey. And like, I do believe it's more than just instinct, because there have been like stories of dogs who grow up together, and when one of them like dies, they just like stop eating and shut down completely. That seems like counteractive to instinct, you know?
Yeah, I'm definitely like leaning towards that as well. Like, I definitely think there's signs of compassion,
right,
and like understanding in animals like dogs and stuff.
There's a cool story where this like drug dealer was keeping this like baby bear, this baby tiger, and this like baby lion in his basement, and they were like in very poor conditions. And whenever they were rescued, even though they no longer had a reason to stick together, they still refused to leave each other's side, since they built a bond of reliance on each other while in that basement. That doesn't happen in nature, and usually whenever two animals of a different species of predators are raised together, they very rarely stick together into adulthood.
Well, I saw a video on Twitter where it was like two like wildebeests, and one was like fighting a lion that attacked the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, is that like compassion, or is that we as wildebeests have strength in numbers, and we need to keep as many of us as we can alive to thus protect myself and everybody else?
Right.
Or is it like, oh, that's my friend wildebeest, I'm gonna go help my friend wildebeest?
That brings up, pack animals,
Yeah,
and pack instincts.
Oh, also, I was watching, of all things, the D23 live stream recently, which is Disney's like annual like live stream, and they show all the new stuff, even though like nothing was freaking announced that we didn't already know, or they just told us they were getting rid of things. You know the dinosaur ride, the Animal Kingdom?
Mm-hmm.
Gone. Very mad.
Wait, the one with time travel?
Yeah,
They got rid of it?
they are getting rid of it.
What the fuck? What the fuck, man?
I'm probably never gonna go on it again.
Fuck.
Yep. And you know what they're replacing it with?
Oh
A
no.
ride that already exists in Disneyland, the Indiana Jones ride. Because everybody loves Indiana Jones. Geriatric Harrison Ford is still on screen. Can you believe it?
No offense to the actors for Indiana Jones, but I mean, that age has came and went. Nobody really cares about Indiana Jones anymore. And hold up, the only reason why those remakes exist is because they're trying to fucking milk that cash
Just to be
cow
clear, it's a
for all it has.
Just to be clear, it's a sequel, it's not a remake. But to be clear, all of Dinoland is going away. It's going to be a you know how they have Africa and Asia sections? It's going to be Central America. So it's going to have Indiana Jones and Kanto and exhibits of animals from Central America.
Encanto might be cool.
I don't think it's going to be a ride though.
Oh fuck! Why not? Why even have that?
I don't think
area?
it'll be a thrill ride. If anything, it's going to be like those little carnival things, like the Triceratops spin or whatever. And then Dinosaur will be Indiana Jones. Anyway,
They're really that. They're getting rid of dinosaur rides for that.
Because like a major draw for their competitor Universal is Jurassic Park, so you would think they would try to milk everything out of their dinosaur brand as much as possible.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, I would expect them revamping the dinosaur area, if anything.
They're also updating Test Track. They are.
Yeah, no, that'll be cool.
They're giving it an overlay, and they said they're theming it more after World of Motion, which was the first thing in its spot, and it was about the history of travel. But it's still going to be a thrill ride this time, as opposed to like something like Spaceship Earth, like it was before.
They're making it sound boring.
No, I think it's just going to be about electric cars.
Do you still get to design your car?
I don't know. And it's still sponsored by Chevrolet, so I imagine. But it's probably going to be about electric cars. But let me
There
finish
was something else I
though.
want to say before you brought up dinosaurs, though. What were we talking about?
We'll go back to it because I'm trying to take a step back. I bring up the D23 live stream because they had a segment where they were talking about their new National Geographic series on Disney Plus about whales, and they were saying how whales, they're like, yeah, we figured out they're just smarter than us. They are more intelligent than humans, and they just decided, yeah, we don't need taxes. We're gonna chill in the ocean.
Well, I mean,
We're good. We don't need to do that.
I don't think they have like something to maneuver about items to build like the cities and shit.
Why should they?
I don't know.
Why do they need to? What is it giving us?
moon.
Reality TV?
Yes.
Who cares? Elon's not getting us there anyway. We're not going.
Yeah. It's only gonna be the rich people. But funny you brought up whales, because that's what I was trying to remember to bring up. Because like I think it was like humpback whales have like a serious beef with orcas. So like,
Everybody has beef with orcas.
I think orcas are the coolest.
Of course you do.
There has been no orca attacks on humans out in the wild. The only time an orca has attacked a human was in like SeaWorld and shit.
Well, no. Recently, some whale hunters killed a pregnant orca, and ever since then, the orcas in the area have been taking down ships.
Well, okay, that's reasonable then. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
If aliens came down and killed a fucking pregnant lady who's like part of the family, would you not want revenge against them?
Yeah, no, that is a fair motive, but they also, what they do in their free time is pick off sea lion younglings and throw them around like volleyballs in the ocean until they eat them.
Well, they need to eat.
They don't need to play with it and torture it.
Neither do dolphins.
Dolphins are assholes too.
Yes.
Great.
What will happen is humpback whales, if they like hear orcas in their area, even if they're just minding their own business, the orcas will like hunt them down and harass them because they have such beef with the orcas.
They're real assholes. I'm sorry.
Orcas also are a natural predators of the moose, because moose, they like dive deep down and hold their breath so they could eat like algae at like the bottom of a lake or something. And so along the coastline where there's orcas and shit, the moose will still be doing that, which would make them vulnerable to the orcas.
Do you have any interest in watching season 2 of Good Omens?
No.
It's very bad.
Yeah.
Shockingly bad in comparison to the first
Really?
one. Yeah.
I mean, I was expecting it to be bad, but shocking.
It has higher reviews in the first season, which I don't understand. And like, I don't even, like, really weird creative decisions where in the first season, you know, Aziraphale has the angel, if you don't know, has like his bookshop, and it's like on a real street corner, like they filmed on location somewhere. And in the second season, you can tell it's a soundstage, and they have like either matte paintings, fake facades, or like a green screen, blue screen effect to make it look like the city continues. And then they just have like a comical amount of crowds and people on the sidewalk, and like constant traffic, like to a ridiculous level. I'm like, oh, is this gonna do like? Is this something
like
later?
Brazil?
No, it's Soho, London, and I'm like, is this going to be a joke later? Like, what is happening? It's just so ridiculous compared to the first season. And it's just never spoken about again. Don't get me wrong, all the acting is wonderful. Everybody in the show does a wonderful job. David Tennant is my favorite. And Michael Sheen is great. But yeah, and just the overall, like, plot is way less stakes. Like, the first season is literally about preventing the apocalypse.
Right.
And this one is just not on the same level. Also, there's like actors that were in both seasons but are playing two different characters.
What?
Yeah. There's like a nun in the first one, and she plays like a record store shop owner, like in this one. And it's just completely unaddressed. I don't understand. The only recast, and then the one person that did recast, Beelzebub, they like actually mentioned it in the show. They're like, David Tennant's like, why'd you change your face? She's like, I got tired of it. I'm like, what? And then what was the other thing? Oh, I thought we were like past the point of like COVID having an effect on movies coming out now.
Oh no.
Like I thought like we've reached the point where productions have started and finished after COVID restrictions. But there's a scene where like the demons are trying to invade Earth. And the head demon is like giving a speech, and she was like, for those of you who can't hide your disgusting faces, we'll provide masks for you. And I was like, oh, it's gonna be like a funny human mask to make them blend in. No, it's surgical masks. It's like the blatantly, like not even hidden, like surgical masks. And I'm like, you know, if that was protocol, like if you were filming this during COVID times, that's protocol, fine. There's a better way you can hide that. And also, I thought we were done with that. Like, I thought anything coming out now still would have been produced before the...
It's stupid.
Anyway, I like at a watch party with my friends, and we just laughed so much.
At a watch party? You didn't invite me.
Yep.
I'm offended.
Actually, Dean and Nikki, who you may have seen on the show, we've assembled a watch list. If I had my phone, I could go through it with you. But you're welcome to come over and watch that, but I thought you just kind of wanted to pinpoint times where we could film.
Speaking of movies, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, that's gonna be good. That's gonna be a goodie. That's gonna be a good one.
Are we sure it's coming out?
I haven't seen anything
talked
to
about the
suggest
strikes,
otherwise.
I think it's just major blockbusters are getting pushed back. Ones that at least weren't finished being completed. Like Dune, and I think the Marvels is coming out on time, but I'm not seeing that one in theaters.
Marvel CGI has gone downhill. Narnia had better CGI.
Yeah, but we gotta be clear that, like, that's not the CGI artist's fault at this point.
Well, it's their job.
But they're not getting paid enough and don't have enough time.
Yeah, so it's Disney's fault for not paying them.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. It's not the CGI artist's fault that they aren't given the correct conditions to make good work.
Right.
Just want to make that clear. But yeah, I think the Marvels is their next movie, and I think that's coming out at the correct time. But
I'm done with Marvel.
I am selectively viewing things. Like, I don't care about the Marvels. I will watch Loki.
I will
I'm
watch
interested
Loki.
in season 2 of Loki. I don't even know what's out. I think Captain America. Again, I might watch that. Probably not in theaters though. I like the actor. I like Anthony Mackie, and he's actually from New Orleans in real life. So
You know what's bothering me about TV shows and such? Whenever there's a show with a really good storyline, it gets fucking cut. But like we have Teen Titans Go, which nobody likes, nobody cares about, but they play it constantly. It just seems like every time there is a show where it has like a good solid storyline, it gets cut, even though it's doing better than these shows where it's just a funny gag episode each time. These people, they don't respect us, which is, they don't care about what we want. They care about what's making them money.
yeah, I mean, but also it's just for children. Teen Titans Go. Anybody actually care?
I would not have watched that as a kid. I think I would have gotten hit for watching it as a kid. I'm joking. What I'm saying is, what the fuck happened to all the good shows? And I'm not just saying like, and I know people will be like, oh, well, the reason why you don't consider them good shows is because you're not a kid watching them anymore. No, if I compare stuff like fucking Avatar: The Last Airbender, and then compare to the stuff coming at Avatar is a bad choice because that's like fucking gold right there. What I'm saying is, it's not that I've grown older and my sense in shows have matured to where I can no longer enjoy these new children shows that are coming out. What I'm saying is, these new children shows are shit.
They are dumber.
Exactly. They don't respect us. They don't respect our sense of humor.
A good kid show is funny to kids that watch it when it's coming out, and it's funny for different reasons when they watch it again later.
Right.
Catch jokes that they didn't catch before, understand more of the plot. That's a good kid show, and now it's just
dumb gags.
Yeah. I hate like serialized television where each episode is a new little mini story that doesn't go anywhere.
Right. It's bad.
Like I know you haven't watched it, but I love Adventure Time. I'm binging it again right now, and beautiful, wonderful show. But the first like 2-3 whole first seasons were purely just like little B stories, like just nothing that furthered the plot any. I mean, introduced new characters that you see later on, but like no overarching story, and that was like my biggest complaint. And then as it gets later on, you have overarching stories that take place across multiple episodes, and it gets better.
Right.
But also, don't you feel like Steven Universe suffers from the opposite? Steven Universe dragged out their main storyline for way too long.
What I think happened was they wanted to, the writers wanted to make an overarching story. However, the producers of the show wanted something that's a bunch of B-side stories. So what happened is they tried to make a compromise.
They had like those little filler episodes sprinkled in.
Yes, they forced them to put in too many filler episodes, and then just whenever it was getting good, they weren't greenlit for more episodes. I am pissed with what they did with White Diamond. Friendship is good and all, however, she's a fucking dictator that destroyed multiple planets filled with creatures, and they handled it by saying, "Oh, can't you see? Emotions are a good thing."
If it weren't such a kid's show,
they killed Lars. How was that?
Well, then they revived him. But I think that, like, if it wasn't such a kid's show, I think, yeah, that would be like, that's look, that's an important lesson in life. It doesn't mean you have to kill the person, but, like, it's an important lesson in life that some people are not worth your time.
Right.
And that's something that Steven Universe never, ever seemed to want to say. Everybody, no matter how vile and disgusting or murderous they were, could be redeemed.
That's
bad. And don't get me wrong, I love Steven Universe. It's a big part of my childhood, but that was like the one thing that, looking back on it, it was like, some people are not worth your time.
And I just want to say, yes, that was the message that seemed to be going across, that no matter what, people can be redeemed, which I disagree with. However, they wouldn't bring that same line of thinking for Pink Diamond. I mean, don't get me wrong, she is a villain. However, so was White Diamond, and they made a complete villain out of Pink Diamond, wherever White Diamond was the real villain, and she was the only one that got, like, redeemed. I mean, Blue and Yellow as well, but what I'm saying is, White did so much worse shit than Pink. However, they only made Pink a villain because it was personal to them.
Yeah. Also, Steven Universe Future was like the sequel series.
That was bad.
That was a complete and utter waste of time. But
because it didn't have a continuous story either.
Yeah, and then also just the end of Steven Universe was horribly rushed. So like years of building up to Homeworld and all the diamonds and like what Homeworld life is like.
Waiting for fusions with Steven and Garnet.
Waiting for fusions that like people speculated and drawn fan art about and wrote about. So much passion, and then you get shown it. You get shown what Homeworld is like, all this crazy architecture and like really creatively designed ecosystems and planets and character designs. And you get that, but it's like boom, 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 show's over.
I want more about Space Pirate Lars and the Off Colors.
Yes, they just like dumped everything in the last few episodes and were like, bye. And then it's gone, the show's over for good.
Yeah. And speaking of shows with like continuous storylines, Infinity Train, incredible, amazing, and I'll give them. I'll admit, I understand why they cut it. It was meant to be marketed towards kids, however, but for all adults can enjoy it as well. And it seems they just ignored the kid aspect for a large portion, because like there's a scene where you literally see a person disintegrate in front of them, and I'm not talking about like Marvel disintegrate where the person snaps and they just start becoming dust from head to toe, and I mean like their skin shriveled up and slowly became dust. I've seen their like screaming skull, and then the skull started falling apart as well until they were nothing but dust. And then like in another scene, you see a person get kicked off the train. They get smushed underneath the train wheel. I can see why they canceled that kid show. It wasn't really a kid show, which sucks because it had a solid, very good storyline.
You talking about the Mortal Kombat remake?
No. I got catfished when I was younger.
What?
Yeah. I was playing a little mobile game, and this person started like talking to me, being all friendly and all that, and then they were like, "Hey, do you have a Kick?" I said no. They said download it and we could be friends on Kick, which I did. And
I think you told me about this, yeah.
yeah, she I say she, I don't know if they were, but they like were asking me all these things and asking for like a picture or something. Not of me like.
Were they trying to like get information out of you, like your social security number?
No.
Or were they like trying to sext you?
They didn't really do either, but they were just so. It seemed. I thought I was just making a friend, and when I think about.
You should really specify how old you were when this happened.
I think I was like 13, and like.
Luke, that's a little old.
Still, let me just finish.
Okay.
I was still underage.
No, I'm saying like you're a bit old to fall for that, but okay.
Well, I didn't completely.
Did you realize then and there in the moment, or in retrospect you realized?
No. Like, it wasn't in retrospect. I was suspicious the entire time I was talking to them.
Well,
it's not like I gave them the numbers on the back of my mom's credit card. At the time, I thought, hey, they're just being friendly. We're having friendly conversations, and they didn't really ask for anything overtly suspicious. However, whenever I was getting suspicious and asking them, hey, what's going on here, they just kept on deflecting and avoiding questions, and like, whenever I asked for proof that they are who they said they are, they sent like a photo of a person of like a not very well-known actor who's like online. It's like, that's not you. How can I be sure that's you? They said, oh no, it's definitely me. It's like, can you prove it? Can you like take a picture of you with like, I don't know, a spoon on top of your head or something? Yeah. And they just kept on saying no until their mom came on saying like, hey, you really shouldn't be asking for photos of my daughter. It's like, she's been asking me of photos of me, but in the end, they did teach me how to download Terraria on my phone for free.
The moral of the story is, deal with abusive behavior online if it means you can download Terraria.
They like had me go to this website, go to this specific browser, download something, then go through that download to like this other really fishy web page.
Did your computer, was it like inundated with viruses after this?
No, it wasn't on my computer, it was on my phone.
Was your phone inundated with viruses after that?
I don't know. There's few big time YouTubers I respect, and they are Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and PewDiePie.
Jacksepticeye said something weird lately. He was like, I think Mr. Beast is, you know who Mr. Beast is, right? He's like, I think Mr. Beast is detrimental to YouTube because he's incentivized making videos purely for the purpose of making money and not for the fun creative aspect of it. Yeah. What's your take on that? Are you like aware of the content Mr. Beast makes though?
Not well. However, I do know some of it through like Meat Canyon, which is like a guy.
Yeah, Meat Canyon's very funny.
While I'm not sure if that's why Mr. Beast does it, I can see how that would affect YouTube as a whole, with all of these people trying to copy it for the purposes of profit.
Yeah, Mr. Beast just makes viral video after viral video that fund the next one. You know, they make enough money that he can do something. Like, he's not like a YouTuber that gets, you know, millions of views and then uses it to go buy themselves a new car. Not that there's anything wrong with that,
right.
But like, he makes money to spend the money for YouTube content.
Right.
And not only that, but the content he makes is like, I healed 1,000 people of their blindness. Because it's actually like a really simple surgery that can fully give you your eyesight back, but it's just so ridiculously expensive that so many people just can't afford it and live blind instead. And this could be even young kids and stuff. So he one kid who was like particularly young and couldn't do a driver's test because he lost his sight before he could do it, he got him a Lamborghini. And so like, I don't think it's fair to say that Mr. Beast is harming the YouTube space when he is making the money to spend it.
Hold on.
You can blame other people who try to copy his style, but I don't think it's his fault.
I don't think that PewDiePie was trying to suggest... Jacksepticeye was trying to accuse Mr. Beast of doing this with like negative intentions, or of like blaming him for all these copycats.
Yeah, he just like said that Mr. Beast had incentivized people to make YouTube content for money and not just the creative love of it. Which I just don't think that's warranted.
Well, no, I don't think he was doing that to be suggesting that Mr. Beast is the reason behind it.
He specifically said Mr. Beast. Like, the situation was he was doing a lie detector test, which I know is a silly situation to be in, but, and it's not true, but it was like, do you like Mr. Beast? And Jack goes, no. And then not the lie detector person, just the person that I guess doing the video, was like, can you explain that? And then that's when Jack said, yeah, I don't like Mr. Beast because he incentivized. So it's not like he's just saying random people or people like him.
So it's not that he made a video purposely calling out Mr. Beast.
No. I think it's just on somebody else's channel entirely.
Well, then in which case, I don't think you could blame, I don't think it's fair to say that Jacksepticeye is being mean to Mr. Beast about this.
I don't think it's being mean. I just think it's kind of, I don't think the take makes much sense.
Well, I'm just saying that it's Jacksepticeye's own personal opinion about the inner workings of YouTube and YouTube creators, and it's not that he made a video saying that Mr. Beast is the core reason for all these faults. It's just what it is. It's a throwaway comment that someone asked him on someone else's YouTube channel.
Well, I'm bringing this up less so to ask you what you think the intention behind what Jack said was. I bring it up to ask you, do you think that's true?
I think it's true that Mr. Beast's actions have caused a lot of copycats that are trying to do similar things as he is for the sole purpose of making money. While I believe that Mr. Beast, however, is doing it for content creation and sharing with others.
Yeah. Let me make it clear. I'm not a Mr. Beast fan.
Neither am I.
I don't really watch him. I don't not like him.
Neither do I.
But I did watch Jack, and I slowly started slipping out of that because he just became so geared towards kids. He didn't really grow with his audience.
Let me clarify on something. When I say I respected Jacksepticeye, I don't watch him, but I do believe that what he is doing is for the sole purpose of entertaining others, and it's not as if he is trying to put on a character to try and be someone he's not.
Yeah, but I will say for the long majority of Jack's YouTube run, he would upload 2 videos a day. Now that is, if that's not, I'm doing this for money over creativity, I don't know what is.
Well, I don't think that's I don't think it's a bad thing to be in something for money.
It really isn't, but for him to be the one to say that is a little hypocritical.
Again, it's not as if he made that video to insult Mr. Beast and his actions. I'm
Yes.
just saying that I think you're being too harsh on Jacksepticeye for voicing his opinion whenever the video wasn't even specifically on that opinion trying to call someone out.
Yeah, I know, and
People are allowed to have opinions.
it's more so like it's rich coming from him. Just based on the content he's made, it's kind of funny that he's the one saying that. That's all.
Well,
I'm trying to say.
it's not him trying to get people to send him. He's just making YouTube videos, and he profits off of that. It's not like he is making these videos where like, hey, spend all this money on me, or hey, watch me give away all this money to other people, or shit like
Mr. Beast never asked for money.
I'm not saying he does.
Yeah.
It's all these copycats.
Yeah. Actually, one real funny thing about Mr. Beast.
What?
He recently, when did that change to red? Mr. Beast recently held like a World Cup thing, I think, and he had like one person from every country compete.
I saw.
And
the
so
thumbnail for that.
it was like a big deal. Everybody's waiting to see if like he recognized Taiwan as an
Or
independent
Hong
nation,
Kong.
and he didn't. And everybody was like, "Oh my god."
I don't like China. I'm fine with the people that live there, but China as a whole and the government, I don't like.
Do you know Hassan Piker?
It's all.
Hold on, y'all.
Oh.
Alright guys, sorry, this thing's gonna stay off the rest of the episode. Don't worry about that.
Hassan Piker,
Do you
I'm
know him?
coming to kill you! In the ring, right? No, in real life, I'll skin him and wear him like a coat.
Who said that?
Some wrestler, man, on TV.
Oh yeah. I think Hassan is trying to work out to get a better body right now.
I don't know who Hassan Piker is.
Okay.
I just know that.
What I'm about to say is not worth it. But it was just, he was, Ethan, H3 podcast, that guy.
Hey, I don't like him.
He does a show where he co-host, like Hassan is the co-host, and he's a Twitch streamer, and a political Twitch streamer. And he was recently grilled by Ethan as to whether or not he thinks Taiwan is an independent nation. But
I say yes.
I don't like Hassan.
My credit score just went down, but I'll say it again. Yes. Yeah, keep
I don't
saying
know
that.
enough about the whole situation. I think the politically correct thing to say is that they are and they should be. I just want everybody there to be happy and have rights. So whatever answer that is, I go with that.
Which is recognizing it, because
Great.
China doesn't allow people to have rights.
Okay. If our show gets any notoriety, it is immediately getting blocked in China.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Anyway, something else I want to talk about, and specifically I see this in Hassan and a little bit in Moist Critical, both of them, like there's a culture on Twitch and a culture on YouTube that are vastly different from each other. Like, Twitch is very much like, F you audience, I'm gonna do what I want, I'm gonna watch what I want, I don't care, I'm gonna watch this like hour-long YouTube video essay that somebody put hundreds of hours into making with research and just watch it on the stream. I'm gonna get up and leave.
I think that's fine.
And just letting a video play while they're not even there.
No, not that.
XQC got into hot water with that recently.
Saying, going, fuck you, I'm gonna do what I want. They don't. If the audience doesn't like what they're seeing, they can move on.
Yeah.
Just like how people can choose whatever videos they want to watch on YouTube. Having a fucking Twitch streamer do what they want to do is perfectly fine. They shouldn't have to pander to their audience. I just don't agree. I don't agree, however, on them just like leaving during a video is playing.
Yeah. Well, let me say this. If Twitch or YouTube is going to have an atmosphere of, screw you, I'm going to watch what I want to watch, it would be YouTube, not Twitch. Because YouTube, you're getting paid by YouTube. You're getting paid by the advertisers. You can have like super chats on YouTube, but it's not really
Worth it?
well, it is worth it. Like, you can give money to your favorite creator, but like nobody really does it there. It's a lot more sparse. You get paid by YouTube, so it's much more likely for the YouTuber to go, and no, screw you. I'm gonna watch what I want to watch. I'm gonna produce the content I want to watch because y'all aren't paying me. I mean, technically you are, but it's like not directly. YouTube is paying. Advertisers are paying for views. Whereas on Twitch, it is much more incentivized for the viewers to pay extra to have chats boosted and just donate to the creator, because there's a 30-70 split in terms of profit on Twitch and a 50-50 split on YouTube. So they're more incentivized to. So it's just like, if one group of content creators is gonna act that way, it seems like it would be YouTubers, but it's not. It's these Twitch streamers will start up the stream, money will start rolling in, and then they act that way. Or specifically, Hassan will get like really mad at like one little message in his chat. He'll pick it out of the crowd and like inspect it and like scream and yell at them.
Why? That's probably his like persona.
About political stuff.
I understand what you're
get that.
saying with like Twitch streamers should pander a little more to their audience, since they're reliant on their audience to be paying them rather than YouTube, because YouTube, it's the company paying the YouTubers.
Yeah, but I will say, like, in terms of like playing a YouTube video and getting up and leaving, Hassan used to do that. He got better. Moist Critical kind of did that, got better when he realized it wasn't really an ethical thing to do. XQC is still a huge proprietor of that. He does that constantly. It's even a meme that he's like, all right guys, I'm bringing out Mr. Chair, because the back of his chair is the only thing in frame in the webcam, just to watch the video. And he'll leave and go do something. And then he gets paid for it.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's awful.
However, he's getting paid by the viewers, not the company.
Yeah, and that shit doesn't fly on YouTube.
Right.
You cannot do that.
Right.
But on Twitch, for whatever reason, there's just like no regulation.
It's not like Twitch can prevent these donations from going through from a person profiting off of other people's work.
Yeah. People just need to call it out more and, report it where they see it. But XQC, I don't even know how he has the fan base he does. It's insane. And then it's like, it's such a slippery slope with that crowd. Like, XQC starts it, and then XQC is friends with like Aiden Ross. I don't know if you know who that is. And then Aiden Ross is like Andrew Tate's protege. It's just like that whole crowd is, oh my god, it's terrifying.
I do have a problem with, I guess, not all reaction stream. Well, no. I do have a bit of a problem with reaction streamers. I would like to know what other people think of videos and games sometimes, but not the point I'm trying to get to right now. We'll talk about that later.
Video game Let's Plays and commentary.
Yeah. I'm fine with that. It's just
the video creator purchased the game.
Right.
Thus it becomes warranted. And Nintendo doesn't understand that. I don't know if you know, but Nintendo goes ham on taking down like any content.
That's one problem I have with Nintendo.
Nintendo doesn't. I guess they don't understand that like it's free advertising.
Right. Shit. What was it? Okay. A problem I do have with some YouTubers and Twitch streamers, sort of the more popular ones I've noticed, is that they put on a character, and for me, these characters are always loud and obnoxious. PewDiePie used to do that. He doesn't really do it now. I think Jacksepticeye does it a bit. But like,
what I've seen it switch from is, it started with that, where it's like really playing up an overly energetic character, especially on YouTube.
Right.
But now it's like, it's turned to like being real and being like raw and telling people how it is. But now it's gotten to the point where like
they're being dicks.
That's played up,
right?
To where it's like
they're not playing it as
they're not
them being
dicks, but they're like it's like being they're like idealizing their life.
Right.
Like, only showing the positive. And of course, you don't have to show the negative in your life, especially if it's personal.
Right.
But, like, don't act like you're being more upfront with us when you're just showing, like, your highlights from your recent vacation. You got a new dog. Like, I just see it switched from playing up a character that way to playing up a character that way.
Right. I mean, it went from being loud and obnoxious to them being genuine, and now it's just them being overly genuine. Like not them being
fake
overly
genuine.
A fake genuine.
Yeah. This reminds me. Did you hear about the mommy vlogger that recently got arrested for abusing her children? It was called like 8 Passengers or something, and the mom and her like friend were torturing their children.
One of them was like duct taped to a chair and wasn't fed or watered.
Yeah, so just recently, that a kid broke free from her house in like rural Utah, I think, and ran to a neighbor with duct tape around their ankles and wrists and was malnourished. And it was a mommy vlogger with millions of subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know this. Well,
It just seems like bad people become the biggest YouTubers.
in Hollywood, they have child labor regulation laws, obviously. They need to have time for school, and they can't be on set for so long. Very, very strict laws to make sure children are not being abused on set. YouTube.
Didn't really go over. I'm sorry. I just want to come back to that topic. Hollywood labor laws, but continue.
Yep. YouTube is kind of like the new frontier of media, like Hollywood was, back in its golden age.
And boss.
Those laws did not carry over, those child labor protection laws, until just now. We're just sort of getting those laws set in place for like family vloggers. Because when you're filming a child from the moment they're born, all of their like major events,
The Truman Show.
Almost, like, especially now when like the kid's born in the age of COVID, where they were stuck at home for 2 years roughly.
They have cameras shoved in their face.
Every second of their life is filmed, and that is fun to do for yourself. But when that is your when your channel's selling point is family, your kids are making you money, essentially.
Right.
And so you need to abide by those laws, and currently that's not happening. And I just feel like a lot more of these family vlogging channels have a deep, dark underbelly, like we just see revealed now. That they're horrible people, because people who don't think about that being like an issue, filming their kids so much like that, are probably also likely to be mistreating them.
Right.
And to see this is like the biggest example of this to come out. It just happened a couple weeks ago, or at least at the time of filming this. And I'm terrified to hear more of that is going on, and it probably is.
So back to like Hollywood and child labor laws. Fucking iCarly, the person who poses Sam, forced to eat continuously on set, or like they had a strange focus on feet.
It's Dan Schneider. He did a lot of like the Nickelodeon, or was it Nickelodeon?
I don't know. Might have been. Same people that did Drake and Josh, right?
Yeah, I think that was Nickelodeon.
What happened with Drake Bell?
Some sort of Me Too allegations. I think it's true. I don't want to undermine it.
What? I don't know what happened, so I can't really.
All I know is that he isn't doing so hot, and Josh Peck is doing quite well. He was an Oppenheimer.
Off topic, but if I ever do become a father, I'm not gonna have my children be one of those tablet kids where they just carry a tablet everywhere and they're just constantly watching this bullshit online.
Cocomelon?
Yeah.
Baby Shark?
I'm not saying that kids shouldn't be allowed to watch kids stuff and enjoy themselves. I'm just saying there's there's better kids stuff out there for them to watch, and being a tablet parent is just them giving their kids a tablet so they won't have to interact with them.
Yeah.
That's terrible for both the kids' development and for like their bond with their parent.
Yeah, I literally think most children raised today spend more time with the iPad than their parents.
Which is a terrible thing.
A considerable amount more time. We were also talking about this before we were recording, that I think Gen Z, our generation, is the first generation to be stupider than the last. Luke doesn't agree that the internet played a part in that. I do. I think that, sure, you have access to all the information you could ever want, but you also have access to all the misinformation that you could ever want. And they're not distinguished.
I'll admit, the internet may have a small part in it. However, I don't think it's the biggest part. I think the biggest part is due to lackluster teachers and a terrible schooling system in America, which the teacher portion will mostly boil down to them not getting paid enough. But at the same time, our education system is dog shit.
Well,
No kid left behind, just which that's a good idea on paper, but it's also holding back kids who are trying to move forwards.
There used to be a theory that our principal could shapeshift into different animals.
Because we see like just random animals show up on campus. There's a dog that was never in the same place as him. A duck who went missing, poor Marvin. A chicken, apparently.
I think Marvin was a separate thing. I think he was an evil entity sent from another dimension.
What?
Anyway.
Let's not talk about that. And then I was driving, me and a group of friends, we were driving through the campus at night one time, and there was a fox on campus. I know. I feel bad, because like, on my very first day at our high school, my sister was driving us there. We were a little early, so no one else was dropping people off yet. But like, there was this old man on like a motorized wheelchair struggling to get up the hill where the drop-off area was, and
was it a Christian brother?
I don't know. I definitely think he lived on campus. But the whole time we were driving past him, the three of us were like, should one of us go out there and help him? Should we do something? In the end, none of us did anything, but...
Those poor guys.
I felt guilty about it.
Yeah, those are some strange characters. But, yeah, and now that I'm going in my senior year of college, I'm looking back and seeing how much easier college was. I don't know about you, I definitely think that. I just remember, like, every morning in high school, just, like, it took every fiber of my being to be able to get out of my bed and drive myself to that awful place and sitting there for 7 hours straight. There is no universe in which I could do that today.
That's not right. School shouldn't be like that. However,
I was doing more adulting in high school than I am now, which is probably not great, but seriously, I don't know how I could have lasted.
My problem is college is a little too laid back for me. I did better in high school than I am right now in college.
Because nobody's sort of like guiding your hand.
Not guiding my hand, but it's more like direct. More personal with the teacher and the students. Easier to pay attention to.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what your major is. I don't know what your classes are kind of looking like. I know like the big things like engineering, at least here, and like huge remedials that everybody has to take in person, like in math or whatever, are in big like auditorium classrooms, and there's just no level of personability between the student and the professor, like there is in high school. But for my major, digital art, obviously much smaller major than most, and especially going to senior year, they've weeded out everybody who's ultimately not going to be that major, and the classes are really small, so you can get to know your professors very well. And I think that's something I take for granted, because like it's so helpful to just be like, oh, I'm just going to ask the professor something real quick.
Right.
Whereas if you're in a sea of 500 people, it's like, I just hope for the best. So even if you have like a little messaging thing or emails, they're not paying attention to what you're doing. So maybe my opinion would change if I had a more difficult major. I'm fully aware that my major is super easy, especially with the fact that I enjoy what I do. But just college has been a really fun experience because I've had so much time myself to find out who I am and do what I want to do, and
I'm stuck with my brother. 21 years with my brother was too much. I love my brother, don't get me wrong. I would die for him. I would do a bunch of shit for him. He is my brother. However, 21 years with me just following him around, I won't say that I'm kind of stifled. My growth has been impacted. My growth as a person has been impacted a bit too much because of my close proximity with my brother for a large portion of my life, especially with him only being one grade above me throughout high school. I need more opportunity to branch out.
Yeah, I'm taking baby steps, but ultimately, like, these past few years, I've just been trying to throw myself into situations where I previously wouldn't have. Like, just small things to start with, like just going to the gym or getting a new job.
There's also nothing to do in Hammond. I mean nothing. If you're not going out drinking every night, nothing to do in Hammond.
That's something I'm, like, curious about, like, where that's going to take me in the future, is that, like, everybody drinks. Everybody. Except me. And I don't have a taste for it. Maybe I'll develop a taste for it. But ultimately, I just don't like the idea of being drunk. I just don't, like... I'm so, like, in my head about how I am perceived by other people, which maybe I should work through that first, and maybe I'll be more comfortable in the future. But... gosh, the end of this episode's turned into a therapy session.
I just want to move to Tennessee. I could just go hiking all the time. I just want to hike. I love hiking. I love being out in nature.
I think you would really be happy in life if you just had a full-time job as a park ranger.
I want that. I do want that.
I'm wishing that for you.
You also have to have a degree. I think you have to have a degree. It's recommended.
Ecology? Or just any degree?
Ecology
can't hurt.
Yeah, no. Ecology is a viable degree for somebody wanting to be a park ranger.
Because, like, I feel like me and you, we don't need much.
I don't need much.
I could live in a tiny little place.
I want a small house. I don't want it to be a shithole, but I want a small house.
Yeah.
And a good computer. That's it.
Though that issue, if you're going to go live out in the vast wilderness, getting internet connection, it's going to be a little difficult.
Well,
so that's what I'm saying. Elon, get to work on the Starlink. We're waiting.
Yeah, two things. I don't play a lot of multiplayer games, so the only time internet will come and play is for downloading things. And then with the Starlink coming, is bam.
I don't even know what's coming. Elon keeps making false promises. If you're gonna screw up Twitter so bad, do something else with your time. Jesus.
And last thing I want to say is, with our economy, who knows if our jobs will be viable to make a living off of.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. I think enough people are speaking up now with all these strikes that I think we are in for a better future. I really do. I don't think I'm being naive about that. I feel like enough people get thrown into a bad situation, and things are going to change for the better. I hate that it's come to that, but I'm confident in that.
We've been hitting a lot of heavy topics.
Yeah, we have been hitting a lot of heavy topics. Yeah.
Fuck you. Well, in lighter news, I found an appreciation in baking and cooking.
What you segued into that?
Well, I'm sorry. We're trying to jump from our fear of insecurity with our fear of job security in the future to something more lighthearted. There's no real good segue into that. Away from that. Oh, here we go. Nintendo. They're remaking, not remaking, but they're giving it better graphics, but I don't think they really changed anything. But Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, that was my childhood game, and that's like 3 out of my 5 childhood games that have been updated.
I guess I'm out of the loop on this stuff because I see everybody on social media screaming and crying about this. They're all so excited. I guess I'm
okay, Roman. The first 2 Paper Mario games, which was Super Paper Mario and Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, are the best Paper Mario RPGs, and like them, including Super Mario RPG. Those 3, Super Mario RPG also is getting a remake. Those 3 games are the best Mario RPG games out there and have a cult following for them. They are incredible.
I think I'm gonna start with a question this time.
Okay. Wait, start or end with?
End the episode.
We're ending
by
the episode
me starting
now.
with the question instead of you starting with the questions.
But are we ending right now?
Unless you have more you want to say.
Well, no, it's just that was one topic, not really like a real happy discussion we've been having.
You happy about the game coming back?
I am very happy with it.
My question is, what is a game you'd like to see be remade? On top of the ones, what's another game you'd like to see remade?
Okay, well, I had 5 childhood games. 3 of them have been given remakes so far. Well, remakes or ported to the Switch, and they are Pokemon Platinum. It didn't really get ported, but it was remade in like Shining Diamond and something Pearl. Then there's Paper Mario: 1,000 Year Door. It's coming soon, and then Pokemon Blue Rescue Team. That was incredible. So now I'm just waiting on 2 to be updated, which are Fossil Fighters. Jaden Animations did a video on it, and she nailed it. It's incredible.
You brought that game up so many times in the show, I guess.
It's my childhood game, Roman. And the other thing is Drawn to Life. Now, technically, it did get updated recently because they made a 3rd game in the series, and it was on Steam. However, that game is shit. It does not compare to the first 2 games for the DS and the 3DS. There's Drawn to Life, The Next Chapter, and Drawn to Life 2 Realms. 2 Realms, trash. Drawn to Life, incredible. Drawn to Life: The Next Chapter for the DS, that's also incredible. However, Drawn to Life: The Next Chapter for the Wii is trash. Don't talk about that one either. They had 2 different storylines for some reason. They were just the same name, different consoles, which was weird. Drawn to Life SpongeBob Edition. Never played that one. Apparently it sucked.
I say the original Little Big Planet. Anyway, thanks for watching and joining us on this and joining us in the journey and the back rooms that keeps going on.
I normally give a question, but we both give a question. I was hoping you would cut it off with me trying to come up with a question.
Still can. It's up to you if you want to say one.
I plan on getting a husky when I move to Tennessee. Although a corgi would be nice too.
That's not a question.